Good morning, good morning. It is 7:30, 2025, and it is Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. And this is our training for Wednesday. We've got a guest speaker today with us, Dion Garnett. I've known Dion for years and years and years. He's a great guy, and he's always has so much in-depth knowledge of everything that he does. So we're going to have him today. We're also going to be um, having Richard Frost uh, participating in a PowerPoint presentation talking about the opportunities of making a tremendous, tremendous amount of money promoting franchises. It's one of the big five that whenever we send out our videos, the big five, the franchise is right there in the middle. And it is an absolute money maker, and we're going to explain how that works today. So, Dion, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Frank. Thank you for asking.
And Richard, are you all keyed up and ready to go?
Yep, we are.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and
Are you beginning
let
to
Rich.
feel stuck in the 9 to 5 grind? Do you wonder if there might be something you could do that might be more rewarding? Are your paychecks simply not keeping up with your bills? Are you tired of pouring your heart into somebody else's dream, even in a job you love? You've got expertise, reputation, and drive, but your dependable career path is turning out to be not so reliable as you thought. Jobs come and go, and when you do keep your job for a while, along comes burnout. It drains your energy, dims your passion, steals the joy from doing what you love. As long as you work for someone else, their goals will always trump yours. But what if you could flip that script? Redirect your skills into something that rewards you. There's a smarter path forward: franchise ownership. Imagine channeling your experience into your very own business, backed by a proven franchise system built for your growth. No more reinventing the wheel. Step into a profitable system with built in support, powerful marketing, and hands on training. 90% of franchises outlast startups. Most owners break even in months, not years. Ongoing support, real mentorship, and the freedom to live life on your terms. Meet a nurse who traded 12-hour shifts for a thriving wellness business. Or a tech pro once burned out, now thriving with their own franchise and their own schedule. Veterans and retirees turning drive and discipline into wealth, impact, and legacy. Your industry is your launch pad. Bring your expertise, skip the rookie mistakes, grow faster, go further, and align your business with what matters to you. Who is this for? Tech pros ready to run their own system, healthcare workers needing real balance, veterans and retirees with unstoppable drive, everyday entrepreneurs, yes, you, with big dreams and lean budgets. Here are some signs this is your moment. Crave control? Tired of unrewarded overtime? Want to build wealth, not just earn a check? Ready to ditch the employee mindset? Love proven systems? Value big brand power? Want real legacy for your family? The old story doesn't fit. You're ready, ready to lead, ready for lasting reward, ready to write your next chapter. Franchising isn't just a job change, it's a life transformation. Are you in? Don't let burnout steal your future. Start now. Take control, reclaim your life, and build something that lasts. Contact Richard and his team at ezfinancialgroupllc.com, representing more than 1,500 franchise brands. ezFinancial is uniquely qualified to help you find and secure the right franchise for you.
All right, how about that? That was a video that some of you have seen. Dion and I have been kind of working on these things, and we published that about a week ago. Some of you saw it, some of you hadn't. I wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to see that. And the purpose of that video is mostly just to introduce the idea of franchising to clients who come to us thinking about maybe starting a new business, that sort of thing. And since that video premiered about a week ago, we have been working on the second one, and we're to the point where we've got a PowerPoint presentation we want to share with you. And I think you're going to enjoy this as well. Let me pull it up here.
All right. So anytime you want to stop the PowerPoint presentation, Dion, and inject some words of wisdom, I've instructed Richard to take a breath every now and then. is don't go nonstop and give you an opportunity to say a few things because really we owe this all to you. Um, what we're going to learn today is none of us needs to be the expert. We have Dion, and he is the expert, and we're going to be leaning on Dion's knowledge. So all we have to become is a professional inviter. Dion will help guide the potential client into the right type of a franchise that will suit that client's personality. You don't have to sell anything. You don't have to twist anybody's arm. The process of grooming the potential franchisee is just going to be taken up by Dion, and then he'll train me a little bit and Richard, and then we'll take some of the burden off of him. But he is the expert, so we're going to go ahead and rely upon the expert. Is that okay with you, Dion?
Absolutely.
All right. So are you ready, Richard?
I am.
Well, let's go
Here we
ahead.
go.
Fire it
This we call this FAQs. It's meant to kind of follow up that initial video and kind of fill in some questions, some answers for some questions that a prospect might have, so that they can get a better footing on exactly, well, what does this all mean and where we go from here. This chart is an amazing chart. Uh, it is one that projects and reports
out.
on the
You're not
success
showing your
of.
you're not showing your screen. And is this the PowerPoint presentation we were talking about?
Yes, it
I
is.
was able to see the screen. Franchise FAQs.
Yeah, everybody can see it now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
second that motion.
Really?
This chart, what?
I don't see it. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Jim, can you see it?
He's on the phone, but I could see it. Richard, it's there.
Okay,
I can see it also, Richard.
good. Frank, you may have a problem with your screen.
I guess I do. Okay, well, go ahead. I'm
Can see it as
sorry.
well.
I'm sorry. I did. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's an amazing fact to see that 90% of franchise businesses are still operating after 10 years. I mean, look at this chart. First year, fifth year, 10th year, comparing franchises in red and independent businesses in, I suppose, what is that, yellow? Something like that. It's an amazing chart. If you're thinking about opening a new business, this might be kind of discouraging to anything but a franchise. But nonetheless, in the 10th year, less than 20% of independents are still in business, whereas 90% of franchisees are. That is absolutely amazing. Why? Because franchises come with built-in systems, proven models, and ongoing support that dramatically increase the chances of success. Now, here are some key facts that might be helpful. Most franchise owners break even within 6 to 18 months. That too is an amazing figure when you look at it and compare it to independents. Many independents are already breaking even after the first year or year and a half. You don't need prior business experience to succeed. The entire franchise model ensures that not only the industry information, not only the business information, but the whole experience of operating a business is part of the program. That's all part of the training and the orientation that comes to you. Franchise brands provide marketing, training, operational support, in short, just about everything you need. It's, I wouldn't quite call it a turnkey operation, but it's darn close. Their intent is to make sure that you succeed. If you want to avoid the risk of starting from scratch and fast track your business success, franchising is one of the smartest paths you can follow. Just to give you a few examples, this young lady was a nurse working exhausting 10-hour hospital shifts, working double shifts on the weekend, no time to see her family or enjoy life. Typical story. I mean, you've heard this many times. It's an extraordinarily difficult task to our profession to follow. After she franchised, now owns three boutique fitness franchises. Works just 3.5 days a week, replaced her full-time income within a year, and now able to watch her kid go off to school every morning. Physical fitness, she's still attending to the health and wellness of her clients, but she's doing it in a completely different way, and she can benefit and having a terrific life doing it. In terms of how skills translate to a new biz, here's a tech wizard. Tech professionals have a unique advantage in franchising. Their skills in problem solving, automation, scaling can transform a franchise into a thriving business. They already understand framework and processes. They're skilled at troubleshooting and continuous improvement, and they value scalability and automation. In short, franchising doesn't mean starting from scratch. It just simply means stepping into a system that already works and growing it using your expertise to make it even better. Why do veterans succeed? This is one near and dear to my heart. Veterans may not have MBAs, they don't come necessarily with a business background. So what do they really have? What can they bring to a business? Discipline, grit, accountability, mission focus. Those are so important to success in anything. That's exactly why veterans often thrive in franchising. Within
I gotta
6 months,
ask. I'm sorry, I can't raise my hand for some reason. I'm sorry, and I can't see the screen still, so I'm sorry. But I got a question about veterans to Dion. Dion, when you're talking about a veteran, if a veteran is handicapped from a war injury, perhaps no legs, perhaps pretty beat up as a body, he can't physically work a job. But by and large, can a veteran buy a franchise and have other people work the job?
Yes. So most franchises, um, pretty much all franchises, except there's some where you're an owner operator, where you're the one, until you scale up, you're the one doing a lot of the work. But that's kind of rare. The ones that I see that mostly in is like rehabilitation, rehab type businesses where you're just a guy in a van, guy or gal in a van, going to a home that has been flooded out and you're setting up your equipment. You could start those ones out where you're an operator. But for the most part, franchises are businesses where you're the owner, you're the leadership, you're not the one doing the work. Yeah, so it's perfect for people, even like that nurse that Richard mentioned that traded in her uh, 9 to 5 job, or nursing jobs are more than 9 to 5, but she traded that in for a business, and she actually found that she had more time. And that's because you're the owner. You're not you work on the business, not in the business. You hire out all that help. So yes, someone that is handicapped or missing vital limbs, they absolutely could do a business, because just like McDonald's, the owner is not in there flipping the burgers. So back to you
One other
guys.
one other question with regard to um, financing the business. Isn't it true that the military pays to rehabilitate people and they pay money for them to invest into retraining?
There are various programs for veterans. One of the biggest things for veterans is that every franchise gives veterans a discount, whether it's 10%, 15%, and that's on the franchise fee. So a veteran comes out ahead, they have benefits that a regular non-veteran would not have in the sense that yes, there are programs that are specified just for veterans. So but it all depends on the brand because there's some brands that recognize more programs than others. But yeah, there is specialized programs for veterans.
Okay, well that's good. Go on, go on, Richard. You were doing good. I just those were real important things. I thought we had to take a look at. All right.
Yeah. Well, in this particular case, in this example, within 8 months, he opened his first store. He broke even in by month 6, and he was already planning a second unit before his first anniversary. You take one look at that guy, you know that that guy's a winner. He's going to succeed in whatever he does. He's the picture of discipline, grit, accountability, mission focus. That's it's a terrific path for veterans to take, whether they're disabled or not. Franchise brands love working with veterans. It's not out of charity. It's because the results speak for themselves. Veterans are so much more motivated, so much more focused and disciplined. The results absolutely speak for themselves. If you've served your country, maybe it's time to start building your legacy. Now, how do you proceed? This is a short little presentation that basically tells you the one, two, three, so to speak, the approach to take to really get into the concept and really learn what you're hearing. First step is to speak with a franchise advisor, our team and yours. Everybody's got people associated with them that give them advice for different things. If you're a successful person with a little money in the bank and ready to go into franchising, uh, Dion and his team are there ready to talk to you. I mean, they have the expertise to give you facts and figures. You may also have an attorney, somebody who you count on to give you legal advice. You probably have an accountant of some type, maybe even a certified public accountant, somebody who gives you legal or accounting advice. You may even have a certified financial advisor, somebody who is giving you financial advice, where to put your money, how to invest, that sort of thing. And now you've got ezFinancial as well to help you with the financing. Certainly, you want to talk to successful franchisees, other people already in the business that you're looking at, or in franchising generally. And finally, maybe somebody who is specifically in that industry as you're thinking about, somebody who's an insider who can give you unvarnished truth about the success and the future of that particular industry. You don't necessarily want to go out and get a franchise to build buggy whips, for example, but you do want to go out and find somebody who perhaps is on the cutting edge of something that really fascinates you. Second stage, get
Richard, before you go into the second stage, I'd love to talk about the opportunity um, for easy financial agents who pretty much know nothing about franchises. I want to talk to you and Dion about what kind of money. I mean, let's face it, we're all motivated by how much money we can earn. And Dion, you told me a story about one of your franchises who asked you to promote one particular franchise, and you did without looking at your paycheck. And then afterwards, you're kind of shocked at your paycheck. Could you share that story with us?
Sure. So basically, just to let everyone know, as a franchise consultant, we're a little bit different than a lot of other agencies where we don't have to chase people for money. So you bring in a client, you close a client, we don't get paid by that client. So that makes things a lot easier than some of the other businesses out there where you have to chase clients for money. We get paid directly from the franchisor. So whatever brand it is that we're selling, they're the ones paying us. I'm just using this as an example because I don't sell McDonald's. McDonald's does not need third-party organizations to sell their brand, and they usually sell within their organization, just like Chick-fil-A. They sell within their organization. They don't need third-party sales organizations. But the thing is, if it were McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or Krispy Kreme or something like that, once a new location is open, they're the ones that pay organizations like mine. They're the ones that pay us, not the customer themselves. So this one particular organization, and this is common to franchisors, they'll do 4 months, 6 months, 3 months. They'll do little promotions to whenever they want to expand in a certain area or even nationwide and Canada. They'll do little promotions like things such as, hey, we won't charge a franchise fee for the next 30 new locations, or we won't charge royalty for an entire year after opening, or we'll pay additional commissions for the next 6 months or until the end of the year. There's about maybe 10 franchises right now that's doing that very thing. They're paying bonuses and higher commissions until the end of 2025. So this one in particular was a 2024 it was a 2024 promotion by a brand, and they were paying $75,000 per placement. So, and they were also offering a huge discount, 50% discount to any new franchisee, and they were financing that franchisee themselves without having to qualify. So no financials, no credit, nothing. They were like, hey, if you want to buy, you're automatically going to be financed by us over a period of, I believe it was 36 or 40 months. So basically, you sign the contract, you're automatically financed. And that's just for franchise fees. So anyway, I launched that promotion within my database, got a lot of takers, and I sold. I don't remember if it was. I think it was seven or eight. Of that brand. Well, I didn't really pay attention to um, what came in versus what I paid out. I paid about $150,000 in commissions to the agents that were referring people in. And when I looked at the 1099, as the 1099s were coming in at the end of the year, I noticed that that one particular brand, just for that 1 month, it was the month of August, they paid me $450,000. And I didn't even realize it because I'm getting there's other brands I'm selling at the same time. So I wasn't even paying attention to that one in particular. I just knew that I had back-to-back closings on that because they all had to close within a certain period of time. They closed them all within the same month. And yeah, it was a pretty big. In fact, that's the biggest paycheck for one brand in 1 month. So that's the record right now. 450,000 for one brand, 1 month, all at once. So yeah, that's the story.
Now, we're not making any income claims here. Uh, we're not all as good as Dion is. However, um, the possibilities of making astronomical commissions. Now, Dion, they don't, not every deal will self-finance. We do have to provide the financing, and that's the reason why ezFinancial is teaming up with Dion, because some of the people maybe don't have as good credit as they need to have. Some of the people may not have the funds that they need to have. So ezFinancial, you know, we earn a commission when we put them through credit sterilization, for example. And then we earn another commission when we get them the money to pay for the franchise, and then we're going to be getting a commission from Dion, uh, like he mentioned about the 100,000 that he had paid out to his agents in the field. We're going to be like sub agents to Dion, so he's going to pay us. So that I just talked about credit sterilization, get paid a good commission on credit sterilization, get paid on funding the deal, and get paid on the deal itself. One deal, three paychecks. Wow. How much better can it get than that? And they're not tiny paychecks. They're big paychecks. All right. Go on. Go on, Richard. I'm sorry we're stealing your thunder. But but stop every now and then so we can engage in this dialogue back and forth. But go ahead. You're doing great.
Dion, when I was making finding this picture, I looked at that and I thought, gee, that really does look like Dion in one of his board meetings when he's meeting with a client with all the experts going over, all the points.
That is how it
Uh,
looks.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly. Could you kind of explain that kind of meeting and what led up to it and what's going on here?
Absolutely. It actually can be something for some of the people that want to sell these programs and promote these programs. Uh, Usually whenever there's a setting like this, the first thing that you're thinking is, wow, all sounds great, but who in the world am I going to bring into something like this? How am I going to do it? Am I going to jump on LinkedIn? Am I going to jump on social media? How do I do this? Well, what I found to be successful is starting right there in your local community because they all want things like this. It's about selling the shiny item, whether it's a car, whether it's a house, there's always something that someone wants to buy. And then you have all these other ancillary services that basically support the purchase of that shiny item. So in this case, the franchise is the shiny item, but you need all of these other services, such as an attorney, CPA, financial advisors, lenders, and so on and so forth. You need all these components. And what I've found is that going into the community, if you want to quickly start your business, you could even go right to your local bank and say, "Hey, look, this is what I do, and I'm trying to formulate a basically like a board of advisors for my clients." And the reason why is because they need all these services. Now, of course, the bank is going to be the first to jump on board because their business is about opening up deposit accounts. Well, if these people purchase this shiny object, which is the franchise, one of the first things they're going to need is a bank account. So, of course, the banker is in. And then you utilize the banker or whatever your other network connections, you utilize that to locate the others. You want a CPA or an accountant, you want legal counsel, which is an attorney. And a lot of times the banker will say, well, guess what? We have all these people that bank here. Let me talk to them. And they actually form this council for you. And this council is formed so that you could bring a client in, whoever you're pitching to buy one of your shiny objects, which is the franchise. You're bringing them in an environment like this so that number one, they feel like they're covered. They have every expert right at their fingertips. Now, normally a CEO has to pay a lot of money to retain an attorney. They have Deloitte and Touche or whoever it is that they have hired on to do their accounting and all that stuff. But in this case, all of these services are free. And this is open to the average person. And all they have to do is come on in. They come in, they sit down. We all work as a group. We talk to them about the financial planner. It opens up their books to see what they have. Do you have a 401k? Do you have a retirement account? And then they start advising them on how they can utilize it to purchase this business. And then you have folks like ezFinancial that's saying, hey, these are the programs that can be used for startups. And then you have the attorney that's going to review everything. So this individual feels real comfortable with this arrangement because they know that everyone around this table has their best interest at heart. And they also feel like a big shot because they're like, look, I have all these experts working for me. They're not going to lead me down a bad path, so it makes the sales so much easier. And the number one thing is you're not the only one bringing people in. I get calls every day from my bankers or from the attorneys or CPAs like, hey, I have three people right now that are interested in buying a franchise. Then all of a sudden we get in that room or we do it via Zoom and we have another client. Most of the time, those people, I don't have to really pitch them. They're ready to go because I'm already sold to them. It's just a matter of choosing the right business and the right brand, and everyone's advising them, counseling them, so they're ready to go. So this is a very good way to start. And then, of course, there's other ways to bring in various leads and stuff like that. But this is a good way to start right in your own community.
Excellent. Next step is get matched with brands aligned to your interest. Most people, when they think of franchises, think of the fast food restaurants. I mean, certainly back in the 60s and 70s, that was the genesis for a lot of that growth, the franchise structure. And they were able to grow and become such a big part of the economy. But literally, there are franchises available in just about any business segment you can think of. I mean, you see a bunch of the brands there. Some of you recognize, some of you don't. But look at the segments that are possible here. It's not just restaurants, all sorts and sizes. It's not just fast food, but all sorts of restaurants. Neighborhood service fleets. Can you imagine how many service fleets there are right now just servicing neighborhoods? I mean, people with those little Freightliner vans, special logos outside. They're there for servicing this, for installing that, for cleaning this, for redoing that. I mean, all sorts of service fleets, literally going neighborhood by neighborhood throughout the day. Home-focused healthcare, dental clinics, medical clinics, delivery services. How many of you realize that FedEx sells a franchise for delivery services? There are some parts of the country where they actually sell a franchise to somebody else to have a van with FedEx all over it, and they will be delivering FedEx packages as a franchise, as a service to the franchisor. Tool and equipment suppliers, branded consumer goods, the list goes on and on. Just about any business segment you can think of uses franchise to expand their reach. So don't think of it as just a restaurant. Think of it as the entire economy that's opened up to you. Now, this one I'd spend a little more emphasis on because it is such a critical part. Attend discovery calls and orientations with the franchisors. You will never know just how important it is for franchisees or franchisors to make the right decision, to bring in people that are going to succeed and to help them in every way they can to succeed. The franchise business years ago, back in the 60s, came up with a UFOC, a Uniform Franchise Offering Circular. The SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, stepped in. The Federal Trade Commission stepped in. All sorts of regulatory bodies began to really scrutinize the franchise business and turned it into a real industry. Every one of these franchisors, and a franchisor is the controlling party. It's the one who owns the brand. That's why they call it a franchisor. A franchisee is somebody who actually buys a franchise from the franchisor. But nonetheless, there are all sorts of regulations. Every potential franchisee is given a copy of the UFOC. It's a standardized form. It always looks the same. It's usually about what, Frank? Dion, I think it's last I saw it was like 40 or 50 pages for most of these outfits, but
Yeah,
very detailed.
so a part of the discovery process, they usually on two or three, like the second meet, third meet, w between the franchisor and the new candidate that's looking to buy in, they have them sign a NDA, and then they provide them with the FDD, which is the franchise disclosure document, and that's what contains the information that you're speaking of, and that's actually about 300 pages.
Yeah. And what's in there is all the documentation, all their representations, what they are willing to say. I present this as a statement to you, and these are the this is the background. This is the evidence that I can prove that what I'm saying is correct. All of their historical documents and reports that substantiate the fact that, hey, we opened 20 franchises last year. We opened 20 the year before. And these are the results. These are the statements that we've received that document the fact that none of these went out of business, or maybe one or two went out of business. All of these people started making money, or maybe some of them didn't make money. All the representations that they're making are documented fact that are handed to you in a document reviewed by the SEC and reviewed by attorneys so that you can be assured that what they're representing to you, what they're putting in your hands, is absolute fact.
So
Franchisors are
there,
going to
hold
go
on
ahead.
for a second there, Richard. So their item 19 is where they do their financial representation. So what's good about this financial representation is basically it has all the historical on there. So it has all of their top performers broken down by percentage. It has their medium performers broken down by a percentage, and then their low income earners broken down by a percentage. So you literally can see, so a potential buyer can literally see, okay, the people on the bottom rung, the lowest 20%, how much are they making on average? The highest rung, what's the top 5%, 10% making? Are they making only a couple 100,000 a year? Are they making several million a year? So it gives the new candidate, this potential franchisee, all of the tools that they need in order to make an educated decision. And they could take that information to their CPA, to their attorney, and they can figure out whether, hey, this is something that I want to do or not. So this is all regulated also, like Richard said, by the FTC. They're required to file these annually. So all the updated information is on there. If someone files for bankruptcy within the brand, it's on the new FDD. Okay, so you would know right away. Did the CEO file for bankruptcy? Did any of the franchisees within the brand file for bankruptcy? It's all information that is published within the franchise disclosure document. So the candidates, the people that buy in, they go in with eyes wide open. There is no secrets. You don't have to worry about, are these financials real? Is this real? Is that real? So you, as someone that's reselling or selling selling these people on the idea of buying these brands, can feel very confident in the fact that all information is disclosed. You're not selling a pipe dream.
glad you used
Compare
the word
that to
dream. I'm glad you used the word dream there, uh, Dion, because for over 40 years, I've been making dreams come true for people, and I want to be able to say that I'm going to help people make dreams come true. But you said something else that was very, very interesting. You said they might only be making a couple of 100,000 a year or maybe a couple of million. That's what blew my mind when I first started talking to you about franchises. I had in my mind that a franchise owner maybe cleared 50,000, 75,000, and you blew my mind when you told me a franchise owner could be making 200,000 or more a year take home. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I always give people the example between a real estate investor and a franchise owner. A real estate investor can say they were purchasing a fourplex and they're, for $500,000 and they're making $2,000 per door, because they're all leased up, right? So $2,000 per door, that's $8,000 a month. That's $96,000 a year, which is not bad, right? But they still have a $500,000 mortgage that they have to pay and other expenses. That same individual could purchase a franchise, all in franchise fee. $40,000, $50,000, and then another $100,000 to open up the doors. So 150,000 all in. But a lot of the franchises that we sell, you're making no less than six to $800,000 a year. There are many brands where you're making over $1 million a year. In fact, on average, most of the in-home care brands and senior brands, the average is 1.6 to $1.8 million a year within the first 2 years. Now, compare a $500,000 note to a $150,000 note and compare making $96,000 a year gross to making $1.8 million a year, that it's real easy to show someone that, hey, this one makes a lot more than this one. And your note over here is a lot less than this one. That's why the break even is so much quicker. And this is on average. Now remember, you're not reinventing the wheel. You're just buying into a system that's already working. You're buying into a system that people already know. It's already branded. People already know who it is. In fact, most of the strip malls that you go into, it's franchises that you're shopping at. Whether it's a boba shop, coffee shop, a food establishment, or you're going in for services. Most of those are franchises, even inside of malls. The little kiosk, most of those are franchises. People just don't know. The little fix-it places, they fix your cell phone or put a plastic screen protector over your phone. Those are franchises. That's not someone reinventing the wheel with just their own business. Most of those are franchises.
Be careful here, Dion. You're going to get my people to not want to sell buy fix and flips. We got the 125% buy fix and flip exclusive product, but oh my God, they're not gonna when they start seeing these kind of commissions, oh my God, they're not gonna want to do those flips anymore. Ron, I will has his hand up. Ron, do you have a question?
Yeah, so Dion, I wanted to ask how does location comes into the equation of purchasing a franchise, because I know location is basically is everything when it comes down to business.
So when you speak of location, are you talking about picking the right location to open up a franchise?
That is correct. Yes.
So, during the discovery process, and they call it the discovery process because that's what a franchisee or a potential franchisee is doing when they're looking into various brands. They're discovering what is and what is not. And during the discovery process, that's one of the things that once they choose a brand, the franchisor starts discussing with them location. Now, typically, what happens once you register a candidate to become a franchisee, they basically will lock in several locations. I usually ask them, "Hey, tell me everywhere that you would, that's within 40 miles of your home that you would want to do business," and they give me all the cities and zip codes. So we lock those in. And what we do is we do a territory check to make sure they're available. And once they're available, then we pre-register for those territories. It could be one territory, it could be 40 territories. We pre-register them so that someone can't come in while they're going through the discovery process and just buy out their territory. Um, Now, one of the things that the franchisor does during this discovery process is they start giving them the facts and the figures. Usually, what they'll do is they'll do a Zoom call like this one, and they will open up their screen and show them a map. And on that map, they usually use pretty sophisticated software. It shows them all the numbers. This is the population. This is the population over 50. This is the population over 20. This is the working population. This is their household income. And then they look at who their brand sells to the most. And they say, okay, here are the populations. Here is the best location that you can choose, or a combination of two. If you do right here, right in the middle, you will capture both sides of this city. So this is where you should locate your locate your store at, or locate your office at. So the franchisor spends a lot of time going into locations. Does that answer
Location,
your question?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
location, location, location. That's the most important three things. Location, location, location. Gail has her hand up. Gail, did you have a question?
Uh, yes, I do. Great presentation, by the way. Is there a list of franchises that you can provide?
So in regards to which brands that we represent, the thing is we get new ones every day too. So that would be an ever-changing list. In fact, I think I saw three more this morning. So the thing is, um, yes, we have lists and lists and lists and lists. So that would be something that the Richard and Frank team would provide to you guys, on whatever they have to provide that information. So you would get that from them.
You have over 1,500 right now. So let's say you have 1,503. So, I mean, that would be an awfully big list. We'd probably want to boil it down to
Yeah.
categories, and then within the categories, then we could see what are you interested in, and then when you pick a category, actually, I just thought about making a web page where it could find the categories, and then when you click on the category, down would drop, uh, franchises that might be available in that area. See, Dion said,
Believe it or not, Frank, people do not they don't choose franchises that way. Um,
okay,
it's kind of like going into a restaurant, or into a food place. They look up at the menu, but you know what happens nine times out of ten? They ask whoever is behind the counter, "What do you suggest?" Right? So we do a series of analysis and stuff like that, and we actually choose three or four that fits fits them, because 9 times out of 10 they have no idea what they want. Even if you showed it to them, they have no idea what they want. So I do things like I ask a series of questions, and usually what will happen is you find out what is it that you're getting into this for. Is it for just the money, or are you legacy building? Are you doing it like real estate? Are you going to just flip them? Because people flip franchises. So a lot of the times, very rarely is it a certain passion that someone has. Like I have a lady, all she cared about was she wanted a business with animals. She wanted to be able to take care of animals. So she bought a business called Bubbly Paws, okay, because she came with this idea already. So it was easy for me, right? But 99% of the time, we'll be the ones trying to figure out what will fit them best. And then you present 4 or 5 to them, and then they choose from that. But if you gave them a list, oh man, those people would never come to you, because what they would do is they would look at the list and then they start researching. And what does that research do, Frank? As a marketeer, what does that research do? It turns them into a lead for thousands of other people trying to sell the same thing.
There you go. You're right. Casey has her hand up too. Casey,
I just had a question in the chat that I was going to ask Dion to answer. Just
go
like
ahead.
buildings in the community that you see, and wherever you might be, there's different buildings. So I know that there's like a business plan in our community. And
Hmm.
so some buildings are vacant and they've been vacant for a while, but then there's construction. They're doing bike lanes. They're bringing in some mixed use living facilities, with the residential and the commercial at the bottom. And so I just wanted to know, are those good prospective locations? And then does the franchisor include the building improvement or building from the ground up if, that it's that type of situation for that location?
Yeah, I get it. So that's community development. So that's a bit of a different animal, right? However, it's something that as an expert, you would get into, right? So remember I told you about forming those relationships in the community. You're forming your team that's going to be both assisting you, and they're also going to be referring business in, because they're going to bring their own clients also to the table. But community development has a couple different arms, right? One of those arms is literally becoming a part of, you join your local chamber. Guess who's in the local chamber of commerce? You also have the city planners in there. You have the city council in there. You have the mayor in there. I'm actually working on a development right now in a city inside of Illinois. And I was bought in by a developer, and it's because they had a specific project in mind, which is they want to take advantage of some of the migration stuff that's going on right now in the United States. So they want to utilize visa programs to bring in immigrants to place those businesses within their development, because I think they're getting money from the state, to actually bring in immigrant business owners. So they contacted me to kind of spearhead that program. So you don't necessarily choose the locations first. You usually get the buyer and then you choose the location afterwards. But if you're into city planning and community development, then you go to those developers and you say, hey, look, I place franchises inside of establishments. So let me be a part of your planning here. Let me be a part. So what they would do is they would advertise your services, so that, because they're sending things out, because they're looking for occupants that's going to be inside of these structures. So they would send your information out also to say, hey, contact Casey if you're thinking about putting a franchise inside of one of these locations. So that's how
Thank
you would kind of work with development and community impact, that sort of thing.
Thank you. Thank you for answering my question.
Absolutely.
Clarence has his hand up. Clarence, go ahead. Clarence Williams, unmute yourself and go ahead.
That's a little feeling this morning.
Can't hear you.
Okay, I just unmuted myself. Thank you.
There you go.
I just want to know, from everything I've been hearing thus far, if I was someone totally brand new, a rookie, so to speak,
You've been following
and
me for 20 years.
right, I know, but I I like to simplify things.
Okay.
Okay, so and I come into this and thus everything I've heard thus far. Okay, what do I specifically do to because I know money talks and the rest of it walks. So what do I need to do to get one of these that you're speaking about now?
You mean to like how would you become a candidate to purchase a franchise? Is that what you're asking?
Clear enough for me.
Okay, yeah. So basically, if you came to an organization like this, like ours, right,
Right.
and you said, "Hey, I'm Joe, in this case, I'm Clarence, and I know nothing about business ownership, or maybe I know a little bit about business ownership, but I know nothing about buying a franchise. What do I need to do?" Well, we would take you through a series of steps that would, while we're educating you on what a franchise is, what it's not. We would be taking you through the steps to purchase a franchise, and most of it is pre-discovery, which is you're discovering number one what your strong suits are, where your weak points are, and
Hmm.
we give you a series of questionnaires and stuff like that, and it creates a profile for you, something that even you can look at. You look at it and say, "Oh wow, you know something? That sure is me. That's me for sure." And then it spits out, hey, you're strong in this area. These are the type of franchises you would do really well at. And then once you choose, it's almost like picking a dog,
Hmm.
when you're picking a dog, you look at breed first. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the type of breed that would work well with my family? Right. And then after that you pick, hey, do I want a girl, boy, whatever. And then the very last thing you choose is a name, right? But you choose one that's either active, not active. Do I have a family that likes to lay around a lot? That means I need a dog that lays around a lot. Am I an active family that goes camping, doing this and that? Then maybe I should get me something that's a little more active. So same thing with the franchise. You choose something that's going to fit you and you're going to fit with the franchisor. So we give a list of those, and we usually narrow it down to 3 to 5. And from that, that's where you choose, well, do I like this type of business? And then next, do I like this brand? Because if you say, well, guess what? I like home services. I've always been into this sort of thing. I like the guy in the van concept. Well, you may not like the brand that we gave you. So you say, okay, I like this concept. I just don't like this brand. Then we'll show you all the brands that does the same thing. And then
Okay, that's
you,
what I'm saying. Excuse me,
hmm
but when I
sure.
when I go through all of this that you're saying,
hmm
there's a bottom line. Is what does it cost to actually get that started and to get this running?
Right. So once you choose a brand, so consider all along the way, you're not spending any money. You're just researching. We're
Okay.
basically your researchers. We're the tools that you're using. When you finally say, you know something, I like that one. I could see myself owning one of those. Then we start looking at either whether it's financing, whether you have the money, this, that, or the other. We start looking at the financial aspect of it. And whatever it is, we work towards making that dream become a reality. So if it's there may be a brand where it's only $5,000 to their franchise fee, and guess what? You're now an owner, right? Now,
Okay.
an owner is different than opening your doors. Okay. Because you can become an owner, but you still need to get a location. You still need to get whatever tools that are necessary to run that business. There may be licensing involved. So never
Hmm.
get the franchise fee confused with what it takes to open your doors. Because if you wanted to buy a Subway right now, the franchise fee is just $15,000, right? But to open your doors, it's going to be a little bit more than that. Same thing with
But I'm
McDonald's.
the one that got to pay that $15,000.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Just to become a part of that brand. So you're buying into that brand, right? You're leasing
Yes.
their name basically.
Yes.
But you still have to open the store, right? So these are the things that are found within that financial or that franchise disclosure document. Your item 6 and your item 5, 6, and 7 is go. That's all the expenses of that franchise, and
Hmm.
that's in the those are the item numbers that in every franchise disclosure document. No matter what, you could get a McDonald's item 6, 5, 6, 7. That's going to tell you what things cost.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Any other
And I just
questions?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay.
I just like to clarify, Clarence, that there's kind of two things here. We today we're talking to affiliates, Easy Financial affiliates, that are going to be offering these services, Dion services, to other people. So the question, as I heard it, it could have been, does Clarence want to buy a franchise, or does Clarence want to offer franchises to other people? And what's required if he wants to offer them to other people,
Hmm.
all you are is a professional inviter. You just invite people into the concept because there are dreamers. People are dreamers, and they have this big, beautiful dream to own a franchise, and they're making 50, $60,000 a year now, and they find out, oh my God, I could be making 250,000 a year. What is it going to take me to do that?
I like the
Clarence,
numbers.
Clarence becomes an inviter. Clarence
Hmm.
says, I can help you make that dream come true. I work with Easy Financial. If you have a credit problem, we can fix the credit problem. If you have financial, you don't have the money to pay for the franchise, I can help you with that. And then I can introduce you to Dion, who will guide you into the right franchise
Right.
for you.
Right.
That's all you are, my friend, a
Okay.
professional
And
inviter.
it's not a hard sell because, like I said, once you're around that conference
Awesome.
table or in a Zoom like this, where
Hmm.
all the professionals are there and we're talking to that individual, they're like, "Wow, wow! I have all the tools at my fingertips. I cannot believe you guys are offering this to me without charging me a bunch of money to retain you guys." They actually find it like as a big privilege. I get so many referrals from people that have already purchased. And the thing is that when they start looking at these brands, they do exactly what you're saying. Like, I like those numbers. I like them so much that I bought 3 of my own
I
because
hear
I
you.
was like, wow, that's pretty good, you know?
Amen.
So they're really nice to add to the portfolio. It's really nice to be making, put in a couple $100,000 a year into your pocket and you never step foot in the door. That's pretty nice. Not everybody can do that. But it's once you explain it to reasonable people and they see what you have to offer, they're like, "Oh my goodness, I'm doing 60 hours a week. I'm making $80,000 a year. I could be making the same amount as a airline pilot doing half those hours a week,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a no-brainer. Once you get in front of the right people and they actually sit through the presentations and the advisory boards and all that stuff, they come to you and they say, "Oh my goodness, why didn't I know about this 30 years ago?"
Really.
Yeah,
Really.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Richard, we're eight
Yep.
minutes we're 8 minutes over. Are you still with us?
I'm still with you. I think that the rest of this deserves a little more time. So if you want to pause it here and start with the second half of this presentation on Friday, we could do that.
All right. Well, I just want to say this before we, in closing, um, Clarence brought up some really good points there, and we don't need this. This today's meeting was not designed to teach you everything there is to know about franchising. We are going to have ongoing classes. With and Dion and Richard and myself are probably going to make a course that's going to be published to the world on how you go about creating a franchise, how you go about entering into an agreement with a franchise. So we'll be showing all of that. And but for you, for the professional inviters, we're going to be having ongoing training from time to time, usually every Wednesday. We'll have ongoing training to teach you just exactly how you can find the clients, how you can attract the client to a presentation, and then eventually how you can um, have the client sign up with Dion and take it to the next level. But again, we're not asking you to be the professional. We're not asking you to be the expert. We've got experts behind us. We'll let them do all the heavy lifting. All they're looking for you to do is the inviting. You do the inviting, you invite the right people, the people that may have some credit challenges. Well, we've got people that take care of that. They may have some financial challenges. We have people that can take care of that. And they have a dream. They're dreaming about being an owner, not an employee. I'm a veteran. There's a lot of people on this call right now that are veterans. A lot of veterans don't have a dream. And I want to introduce dreaming to veterans because veterans come out of the military and they look for a job, which stands for just over broke. And what I would like them to do, what I want them to do is be don't be an employee, be an owner, be the boss, and let everyone else come to you for that job while you put in the bank $250,000 a year towards your retirement. Speaking about retirement, those people who retire be, work for a company for 10 to 20 years and then retire from that company and they're only 50 years old. They can't touch that money. But don't say anything, Dion. We have a way that we can unlock that money so that they don't pay any penalties, interest, or taxes on their 401k or retirement, even if they're not retirement age, if they're going to put it into a franchise. Secret sauce. We've got the keys. We've got the secret sauce. We've got the 8 spices that
Awesome.
we're not going to tell you about, but we're going to share them with you.
Awesome.
With with that, with that, we're 12 minutes over. Any last words, Richard?
I would just want to clarify this. We are not encouraging anyone to get the idea that you're going to be selling franchises. That's not the case at all. Uh,
I understand.
employees of franchisors, in other words, the big companies that have these franchises to sell, the employees on their payroll who are authorized to make representations and meet with potential clients about buying a franchise are, are regulated. They're identified and approved for that purpose and that purpose only. And that's the only people for those companies that are authorized to speak about selling a franchise for that company. In our case, we're not asking anybody to go out and start talking about a specific brand or trying to convince somebody to buy this brand or that brand. We don't do that. We can't do that. That's not our job. What we're going to be doing is encouraging them on the concept of franchising and allowing them to get the idea to understand that there are literally thousands of choices out there. And we have a unique path that will absolutely rapidly. We have solutions. We have assistance that would be invaluable to them. And we want them to be encouraged to go ahead and accept that. Once it's in the hands of Dion and his team, uh, then they can really start talking about specific brands. And that whole process that he was relating is getting down to the final decision as to what really works for the client and what really makes sense for them. That's
Awesome.
my final comment.
Yeah, and even after that, we aren't selling anything neither. Once they get down to that selection and they say, okay, we're going with Subway, right? Then we register them. We do a formal registration with Subway, because I know all the CEOs and the different ones. I know their sales department, stuff like that. So my rep takes it from there. And guess what? They take them through the discovery process all the way to closing. So they're the ones that make the sale. All we do
That's
is
right.
educate and we help them place. That's it.
That's right.
Awesome.
Professional inviters. Well, Dion, thank you so much for your expertise. And Richard, you did a fantastic job on that PowerPoint presentation. And I'm sorry I interrupted so much, but I think it was very, very interesting and informative. And with that, I'm going to say to everyone, thank you for your attendance. Looking forward again to seeing you on Friday morning. We do our sales trainings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll look in your email for invitations to come to those meetings. And also, by the way, I'm giving away $50 gift certificates for anybody who looks at the video that I'm sending out. So, my Big Five video. So, open up the video, take a look at it, and get a $50 gift certificate. It's that easy, real simple. All right, with that, God bless, and everyone have a great rest of your week.